We look like hell because, well, we've been through hell in the last 24 hours. So, and
33 hours at sea.
Is that how long it was? Really? I thought it was only supposed to be 24.
Well, we had that, 10 or 15 miles to go out from the marina out and around before we actually started the course.
That doesn't count. That was fun.
Yes, that was pleasant. Lots of dolphins, all that.
Oh. All right. Well, I guess we'll just start talking and people will show up. I did not do a very good job. Sorry, advertising this. We didn't have internet yesterday. We were in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. And quite frankly, I was puking my guts out. So the last thing I was thinking about was this live stream. But I am been writing with Gary and Scott the last few days. They have a beautiful, we are sitting in their salon, 1986 72-foot Hatteras. She started out as a 63 and got extended, like mine, to 72. Yeah. So they have done some amazing things. So if you guys have questions about Hatteras, these are the guys to ask. They have seen it all, done it all, fixed it all, and spent 24 years lovingly taking care of this boat and improving it. I joke often that this is the boat my boat wants to be when she grows up. And when you get the video, I'll be posting the video of the trip, and I'll do a nice walkthrough for you guys, and you will understand why I say these things. So where is everybody? Doesn't usually take them this long to show up, but it is little Christmas Eve, so maybe a small group of people. I didn't do a very good job.
That's all right.
Yeah. Well, tell me about the boat. How did you guys find this boat?
Well,
we looked forever.
Funny story there. We had our Jefferson for sale at the Miami boat show, and we had to be off the boat during the day to, wander around and so people could look at the boat. And this was around the corner, and it was for sale for $1,250,000. Wow. And Gary said there is no way we were spending that kind of money on a boat. He wouldn't even look at it. And it sold during that show. Our boat did not. It took another year for ours to sell. And then this came back on the market about a year and a half later. The gentleman who owned it had a stroke, and then he had a heart attack, and then they had to sell it. And we swooped in for much less money.
Oh, yeah.
Half, probably.
Nice. Good save.
And we've had it since April of 2000, and we have done many remodels on different things, adding the staircase, doing full width engine room, stairs to the bridge, galley, bathrooms all over.
We gutted the galley completely.
Hey, Michael, thanks for joining us. So we didn't do a very good job advertising this, so I don't have a lot of viewers popping in yet. But if you have any questions about Hatteras, these are the guys to ask. We were just talking about their boat. They've had this boat for 24 years, and they have done some really cool things. I think one of my favorite things that you did was they added this staircase. You can see it behind us. This goes down to the master. And so then they were able to take the two separate engine rooms and combine them into a full walk-in engine room. And it is so cool. I'll be doing a walkthrough video to show you guys that. So how are you doing tonight, Mr. Michael?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, so Michael and I met because he is also single, and he's been sitting on the dock for a year and a half looking for a boat buddy to take off on his 53-foot boat, and he's giving up and he is selling his boat.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, this being single and boating doesn't go well together at all. At all.
It would be rough to do by ourselves.
Yeah.
There's the two of us, and it's hard enough some days.
Yes, it is.
Yes. I don't know of anybody looking, but you're posting it on Facebook Marketplace. And do you have a broker working with you, Michael?
Yeah, where's the boat located?
I want to say Isla Morada. Where's the boat located? He has a great slip. The biggest that can go in there is 65 feet. I already asked. Dreams come true, but a heartbreak at the same time. Yeah, I know that feeling. I've been going through it with my situation. But where's the boat located, Michael? Where do you have it docked? Actually, I had an idea for him. He could just grab somebody for minimal and go, because the insurance requires you to have 2 people on the boat now. And,
Oh, really?
yeah, and
I
I've
didn't
been
know
warning all my
that.
friends that are running their 53s and 58s solo that you better read if they don't put it in the specific coverage anymore, they put it in the general coverage, that they will not cover any damage if you're on a solo run. Yeah.
I think I've only run this once by myself.
It's in Cocoa Palm and Marathon.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great place.
And
Yeah.
Chris was looking at some docks there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, my boat won't fit. It's too big.
Yeah, we have a slip in Safe Harbor in Key West or Stock Island. I guess now it's technically Key West.
Close enough for me. I can't
They
wait.
changed the mailing address, so our driver's license say Key West.
Oh,
And
nice.
I'm sure they did that to make it more valuable.
Well, I can kind of relate to that because I bought a house in Hackberry Creek, which was originally part of Irving. And the post office used to get really mad at us for putting Hackberry Creek down with the Irving zip code. And I remember one of my neighbors letting them have it. I didn't spend this kind of money to live in Irving. I was like, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. So, all right, well, where is everybody? I'm sorry, maybe we should have canceled. We're really tired. We did a how long run yesterday? We left
about 33 hours.
What time did we get in here?
I think you screwed that up backwards. We got in here at 7.
Yeah, we left it.
7:20.
We left at 7. So
We were talking about 24.
24.
Yeah,
I think it's
24-hour
more
run.
24-hour run.
Yeah.
We stepped it up a little bit last
So-
night.
Oh yes, it
Make
would
the
have been.
stabilizers
It
work a
would
little
have been
better.
33 hours, but we put a little coal to the engines to get here
Ah,
faster.
I
So
see.
that's what cut the time.
Cool beans. Yeah.
'Cause I didn't want to be beat up out there any longer than we had to.
Yes, I have a broker, Joe Hamilton. Okay. Well, good. Make sure you're posting it though yourself on like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. Just put the broker's name and number. The more exposure it gets, the faster it will sell.
And we went from Port St. Joe to Venice, Florida.
Yeah. Yes. So we left at like 7:00 in the morning, and it was a beautiful day, except for bad sign. We had ice on the deck.
Yes,
We should have taken that as a sign. Don't go. Don't go.
Beautiful when we left.
Yeah, it was gorgeous when we left. We were supposed to have 2 to 3 foot seas, and it turned out to be 5 to 7 and on the beam. So roly poly that I got violently ill a few times. And so we're a little beat up tonight because it took us about 2 hours to get out of the bay into the ocean, and it wasn't so bad in the ocean the first couple hours.
I thought it was gonna be a great time.
Yeah, and I think it was about 3-4 hours into the run.
Yeah,
that
it started.
It started getting bad. Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, at night you can't see the waves coming, so it makes it even worse. So you don't even know how big they are.
I don't think it makes it any better to see them coming.
I like to see them coming.
You like to see
Yeah.
them coming?
I don't like to hear them when they crash.
Yeah. I just don't like them at all. I think I am definitely, between the trip home from Bimini and last night, I am definitely a fair weather boater. So
We're all fair weather boaters. We just get stuck out there.
yeah.
I wouldn't have chosen to do that.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Well, we don't ever have to go, but it's not like when I captained and, I was, the family had to be here and there. And I had a schedule to keep. I don't really have a schedule anymore since we're both retired.
That makes it easy because we did take a longer way around because the weather was even worse the day before.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So we took the ICW. So we left Mobile, Alabama on Thursday morning, and we got to the wharf. And that was like the shakedown cruise. Hey, Rusty. What? I had my assistant do that, and sorry, he also put November 23rd. Go figure. Anyway, glad you made it. And we're just talking about the trip that we're on right now. So we left Mobile, Alabama, and we kind of did like our little shakedown because they'd been on the hard for a couple of weeks, and everything went really well. We got to the wharf. We had that was actually a really great day. Was that the day we got all the dolphins? No, that's the next day.
The day we ran from the wharf to Panama City, or was it
Panama City? Yeah. We got a whole pod of dolphins.
And you got quite a few pictures afterwards. We left Panama City.
Yeah.
Or the ICW.
Yeah. And the ICW on the south is totally different, I think, than the East Coast. It's not as industrialized or
a house built every
developed. It's not overdeveloped, so like lots and lots and lots of just natural beauty, the birds and the trees. It was really, really nice ride. And anyways, so we got to Panama City, and the wind picked up that night, and it was supposed to die down, but it didn't, and so we decided to continue on the ICW to Port St. Joe.
Yes. Yeah. Which was a really nice marina. I had never been there before.
It was really pretty. And Rusty Shay says your boat is absolutely beautiful. Yep. This is the boat my boat wants to be when she grows up. So, hey, Robert, how's Titusville? Hopefully warm. And so anyways, I guess it was when we left Panama City that we got all the dolphins.
Yeah, from there to Port St. Joe.
Yeah.
I guess they prefer the less industrialized and housed up places.
What does that say on?
My ice maker.
Oh, okay.
It's dumping ice.
Okay. So as I was saying earlier, though, these guys have had this Hatteras for 24 years, and they have done some amazing things to it over the years. And so if you have any questions about anything on a Hatteras, they are probably the ones to ask. Well, lucky for you, when we left Port St. Joe yesterday, there was ice on the deck. It was cold. We're very happy. We're in Venice tonight. We're so happy to be where it's warm. We actually had doors open. I went barefoot. This is a 1986. She was originally a 63 foot that got extended to 72 feet. Right?
Yes.
I don't know why I have such a hard time with that. Captain Rick from Fort Myers. Hey, we'll be coming through Fort Myers tomorrow.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll be stopping there tomorrow night. We're going to actually take the river.
Go across Lake Okeechobee and just Stewart and then down to Fort Lauderdale and stay in Fort Lauderdale for about a month and a half and then head to Key West.
Yeah. Where are we staying in Fort Myers?
I don't know.
Maybe. We have not made that decision yet. I thought we were going to do that on the fly.
Maybe you can recommend someplace to stay.
That does not sound healthy.
It's making a weird noise.
Oh, because the water was off.
Oh, yeah. There's probably air in the system.
Yeah.
One of our fun problems last night.
Yes.
We were shaking around so much, something got stuck in the pickup tube of the water tank, and we lost water pressure, and I couldn't prime either pump, 32 volt or the 110. So we had no water until we hit the dock this morning. And I insisted on taking a little nap before I tore into that problem.
Oh my God.
I was ready to die.
It's going to be a water
kicked our rear end. Yeah. Last night really kicked our rear end. It was supposed to be 2 to 3 foot seas. It turned out to be 5 to 7. Autopilot was having a really hard time. It'd get a little off the line, and I swear to God, that made it as rolly as the waves. When it would correct, it's like the whole boat would go.
It was, but it held. I didn't have to steer at any point,
No.
so that was good.
Well, yeah, towards the morning, a little bit with the cruise ships.
Yes, of course, crossing Tampa Bay, I run into 2 cruise ships and had to divert around them because the AIS said, yes, you will hit them. So
AIS is good.
Well.
AIS is good. So, Westin Hotel in Cape Coral or Pink Shell on Fort Myers Beach.
that's where the boys stayed, the Pink Shell, when they would go in.
Okay. Well,
David and
we'll check
Mom.
one of those out. We're going to have a light day tomorrow. It's not very far from Venice to Fort Myers, right?
I don't think so. I haven't gone up to the chart and looked. It's been years since I usually go from here to Key West. So
Yeah.
Right.
we
Oh,
do
yeah.
that as a long run because Key West is our home port.
We have done Key West to Mobile in 53 hours at sea.
Across the.
Yes, from Key West.
200
straight-
miles off.
straight
So we
over.
won't do that again. Everything turned out well. It's just, if you had something that really would go wrong, you're just too far away.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only time we ever used that single sideband to make a phone call back then. We don't have that on board anymore.
Yeah, I used it one time.
Now I guess I could use Starlink if I get in
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
So
Starlink is awesome. So they have the mini. This is going to be interesting for me because that's what I'm into, the whole internet thing. I bought the full size one, so I'm going to test their mini against my full size one and see how they compare when I get it installed. So, but yeah, last night was a little rough. I got sick. Apparently, I get seasick. I don't know that it will ever get better. I think the funniest thing that happened last night, we had 2 things, and they're probably not very funny to listen to, but he opened the hatch for me to come down the stairs, and it was like his glass went, wee, I'm free, and just jumped, went down the stairs, through the pilot house, down to the landing, and all the way down into the V berth. Man, I was cleaning up dark liquid all the way up the stairs, so it's pretty funny. And the other one, it was really rolly. I think that's when it was getting really bad when you relieved me.
yeah.
And I was trying to make it through the salon to the couch. And once you pass the dining room and the bar, there's nothing to hold on to. And we've got everything down on the floor. So it's like a landmine in here, you know? And I think, okay, I'll crawl to the couch. That'll be safe. Then I won't step on anything, break anything, myself included. I get down on all fours and the boat rolls. And just, I don't know how it did it, but it like literally twisted my whole body. And I went right on the lampshade. Squished it flat.
If that's the only thing that happened, that's
Yeah.
a good trip.
Felt so bad. And he comes walking in because he hears me holler out, and I'm just dying laughing because I can't believe I just squashed the lampshade. I'm like, please forgive me.
And the Christmas
Did
tree
you-
held up pretty good
Oh
too.
yeah,
last
yeah.
night.
Well, we
Set it down.
Yeah.
set it down on the floor, and then it did start to fall over, and I grabbed it and laid it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Amazingly,
stuff
no
was flying.
ornaments broken.
No ornaments broke. Just the lampshade. The lampshade and the one crystal dish. The chair fell over and took out something we had on the floor. So after that, I laid all the chairs down. But yeah, we were not really ready for that. The weather said 2 to 3 feet, which would be nothing. And
That was from 3 different sources too. That
Yeah.
wasn't just I took one.
Yeah. No,
Or the
these
best.
guys, I've learned so much from them on checking weather. They don't just use one app. What are all the apps? I know you use Windy.
I use Windy. We use the NOAA radio, the old school stuff with the radios directly from NOAA.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we use? We have a couple other apps as
Yeah.
well.
And the Simrad.
And the
Up on the
Simrad. Oh
Simrad.
yes, and
Yeah.
I do have the XM weather stuff on our Simrad
Yeah,
You know.
'cause
And it's pretty
Charged
truthful
water.
on wind.
But it wasn't last night. It kept saying 2 feet. And it's like, this is way more than 2
yeah,
feet.
it was
Yeah.
it was.
And that's supposed to be giving you real time stuff. And it's
Yeah.
like, what was the
This
deal?
is the only time it's done it, though.
Yeah, honestly, this is the only time it's ever, lied.
It miscalculated.
Maybe there was
very
somebody
badly.
drinking too much eggnog
So-
or
It's a
something.
little too close to
Yeah.
the holidays. Who's ever in charge of that?
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, but we had a couple of good laughs, and the other one that was kind of funny was Gary started to put stuff in the sink in the kitchen or in the galley, and I'm like, don't put anything in the side with the disposal. That's my exit strategy.
Which you did need.
I did use several times. Yes, it was actually way better than a toilet because you had water to drink, and I could wash it all down, and yeah. So.
If you notice, we're all sort of looking up once in a while. There's a bug flying around.
Oh,
there.
yeah, there's this.
It looks like a June bug.
We had like a whole family of stink bugs move in at some point.
Yeah,
And we've been throwing them off the boat, and it seems like we throw one out and we have 5 more.
and we got a lot of them back in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Is that where they came from?
That's where we started our
Yeah.
trip. That's how far north we went.
Alton,
this year.
Illinois.
And so we spent the summer up there, get out of hurricane season, because I also am tired of paying the extreme prices of insurance anymore.
Yeah, I can imagine. So.
Yeah, because I paid up to $20,000 a year for this boat.
So when you come down the river, how many locks do you go through?
There are
21 and
21 through the lake. There's only there's one missing now because on the Ohio they took 2 of the old locks and
made one.
built one. So
Okay.
that gives us, I think, 20 now.
Is that working pretty well when they combine them like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the old locks were probably from the 30s or before.
And they had wickets.
They had like wicket dams that would lay down into the river when the water got high, so you could just drive over them. Well, the new one is combined both those locks because they were pretty close together. And so it's just Olmsted is just the big lock. They
Nice.
did build 2 big chambers, so it makes getting through there a little bit easier because there's a lot of commercial traffic on that one. And then we run up the Cumberland because the Tennessee River is always too busy to get through Kentucky Dam lock. So we go the Cumberland because right there's land between the lakes right after the lock. So you can cross back over on the Tennessee River.
They are building a new lock, but when it's going to be finished,
I don't know.
we'll never
We'll live long enough to see that. It took them 20 plus years to build Olmsted.
On the extension that you guys added, was it all fishing cockpit, or did you make the rear aft area larger as well?
That is one thing we did not do. It was done in '96, about 4 years before we bought the boat, and Cable Marine in Fort Lauderdale did it. I think the back deck is maybe 12 inches bigger because I did manage to reconfigure it finally after many years. But most of it is fishing cockpit with cabinetry down there. There's a freezer built in, grill area, storage, and then 800 gallons of extra fuel underneath, and then storage for the spare props and dive gear and all the other stuff.
And the upper deck there, we have 2, a cooler or a freezer, either way.
We did
Fridge
fridge
bars.
bars and did them in an L, and then had a custom table made for it so we can use it as seating, sit back there and eat, and it's also extra refrigeration and freezer space when we are traveling in the Bahamas, because a lot of times we'll go over there for a couple months at a time, and we don't, we anchor out most of the time.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
And that's pretty simple because those days are very short hops. There's none of this insane stuff like this trip, because most of the time, 40 miles is as far as you're going.
Just kidding you. Yeah,
It seemed like that never happened, so.
nice.
Well, when we're in the Bahamas, we go 30 miles or we go to the
Yeah.
next island. We don't move that far. And it's,
Yeah.
obviously a way easier trip.
Yeah, last night was tough.
This
It
trip
was
is
really
not
hard.
for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to make it all the way back to St. Louis with us, and I get people to make half of it, and they're done, or they'll come back and make the other half.
I'll
at
do the
another
part
time.
at the river. I don't think I want to do the Gulf crossing again. That was a little
I
much.
dread that.
Yeah, that was totally a little much.
I guess the roughest part of the trip from Mobile to St. Louis or St. Louis to Mobile is the Mississippi River. If you're
Going
going out from Cairo, Illinois, the current really rips, and it's like hitting a wall when you're going down the Ohio River. And when you head up, it's rough. There's another little story. They call that the graveyard from St. Louis to Cairo. There was a boat lost every 1.5 miles due to snags, boiler explosions.
back
run
in the
aground.
steamboat days.
In the
Wow.
steamboat days now.
Wow.
It's documented. And a
Awesome.
lot of the little islands out in the rivers are named after the steamboats.
That sank
cool.
there, and that's what that formed them.
All right. Well, when you take the boat, I know this summer you're going up the East Coast
Yes,
like I
we're going.
wanted to do with mine. But next time you go up the river, if you'll have me, I would love to go up the river. I think that would be hell fun.
That is a nice trip, and it's a marina every night or an Anchorage, and it's not. There's only a couple long days, but it's all daylight.
I don't mind long days. I don't. It was the rolly and the getting sick part, and yeah, that was
Well, for me, it's the overnight because I never really do sleep.
yeah.
'Cause-
And I don't think any of us did. I didn't fall asleep until about 3 o'clock in the morning when I
Yeah.
crawled in here and sat on your lampshade. I swear to God, I still don't know what was funnier, the cut going, I'm free, running down the stairs, or me sitting on the lampshade. So you almost bought a 63 footer that sold in South Carolina. It was the one that had the center engine room made into one room. Yeah, they did that too with this one. And I can't wait to show you guys that. I won't be able to do that with my boat because I don't have a place to put the staircase. The 63 foot had this like dressing area.
Yes.
Yeah, that was kind of a waste of space, really. So I think you really utilized that much better.
Yeah, I cut the staircase into that, and then just made like a little office area. That, just-
Closet also.
and a closet. It collects more junk. So, but storage.
But storage.
I did use every bit of space because when I cut it apart, Hatteras wastes so much space in different areas.
Oh,
It's insane.
I have seen that with my own 2 eyes.
But
Yeah.
having this boat this long, I've tried to utilize when I find weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although now I have way too much stuff on board. We were purging all summer at the house, so
I can't believe you have 800 gallon. Mine's only 500 gallons. So I hold 1650. How much do you hold?
1960, so 40 gallons from 2000.
Wow. That's a lot of.
Anyway, you run from St. Louis to Mobile. No problem at all.
Yeah, we didn't take on fuel once because we're only cruising about 10 knots for the
How
most
much
part.
did you? I know you filled up yesterday or today.
We just took on 250 gallons to be
Yeah.
nice
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah.
they're kind of hurting.
They're
here.
hurting. Yeah.
Yes, they're not. The marina here in Venice doesn't have power, or they just turned it on today, and they also just turned the water on today. So
Yeah.
they're making it back, but they're
A lot
having
of their docks are still.
yeah, the docks are a mess, and
Yeah.
they're struggling.
Was it Milton that got them, or was it Helene?
It was the first one,
Helene.
Helene.
Yeah.
Yes, because I saw it on the news, and I thought, oh, those poor people, because we come through, we stop here each time, so we know the people here, and it's like too bad. It's a shame, that, and then they got
really
hit 2
pretty.
weeks later.
By Milton.
Yes, I
Yeah.
don't think it was a little further up, so I don't think they were on the clean side of the storm. But I'm sure I've sat through many hurricanes, and people say that, and it's like sometimes it's just as bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I got lucky. I didn't get anything from either one of them. So dodged a bullet. Yes. Because they got off the hard late. And we decided to take an extra day yesterday, the day before. So we will be spending Christmas on the boat. Will probably be in Stewart Christmas Day.
Probably
Yeah. So we'll be going through the locks tomorrow.
the next day.
Next day.
'Cause
Yeah.
tomorrow,
Myers.
Fort
Yeah.
Myers tomorrow.
Fort Myers
And
tomorrow.
then I should be able to get across the lake in one day. It's been
So
25
we'll be going
years since
across.
I've done
We'll
it.
be going through the lakes, the lock and the
Yes.
lakes on Christmas Day.
Hopefully
Yeah.
they're open.
That might be a really good thing to call and find out.
I will ask because I know they close at 4:30 in the evenings, but I didn't know if they have any actual holidays because I don't think they do much commercial traffic across the lake.
We probably should find that out. And I'm going to cook Christmas dinner. So I'm doing my family's Southern cornbread dressing and fruit salad and turkey and fresh cranberry sauce, whatever else the guys want. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing now. Rusty, that's not fair. You can't say something and take it back. You see where it says message retracted.
Oh,
that's just wrong. But we think we'll be in Fort Lauderdale on the 27th, 26th?
26, 27, somewhere
26,
in there.
27.
And that also depends on our sea conditions because if I can jump out at Stewart and just run down the coast, it'll go much quicker than if I have to spend 2 days on the intercoastal. Yeah. Especially between Palm Beach and
because it's so
Fort
slow.
Lauderdale. There's like 19 bridges, and that takes all day long.
Yeah. Let's hope though that they don't lie about the seas. So I don't know if I could take another day like this.
I can't take another day of it either. I'll deal with the bridges if we have to.
I'm pretty good at holding at bridges. I can drive through the bridges. Okay, so give us the message without the misspelled words.
I can't.
You can't read it?
Yes, you'll have to read it.
That's why I chose this chair, because I'm close enough to read that message.
Well, and she is the youngest of the three of us. So.
Oh, God. Yeah, but they are way more spry than me. Seriously. You should see this guy climbing all over the boat like a monkey. Yes, I'm talking about you.
Well, Gary does most of the engine room checks and keeps tabs on that. I run the boat, do most of the navigation.
The boat went flying last night, and he was down in the engine room, and I was terrified. And I go down to check on him, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was in the bathroom."
Scott's very good at running on the oceans and the bay areas. I run the rivers. He doesn't like to deal with the barges. Doesn't bother me a bit.
Oh, you talk to him like you're a truck driver.
Well,
he gets on there and he'll be talking to him 20 minutes after we've passed him.
Well, they'll be asking me questions.
Well, they're always very interested in the boat and all that, so they want to know where we're going.
That sounds like fun.
And he loves chatting with them. You know, whether they
on the 10-ton waterway, you can almost every once in a while you can almost reach out and touch one, and I'll tell them I want to be tight with them, and they understand. So it's nice.
That's got to be scary. Well, I guess not any more scary than the New River.
It's very narrow, and there's lots of trees on the side of the banks, and you don't want to get over there too far.
And they dug a very narrow channel.
Yeah. So
if you get out of the buoys, you're aground. It's like
wow.
birds standing up. It's tough.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the best way to spend Christmas in this magnificent yacht on the river. Yeah, I'm not complaining by any means. So I would have just been on my boat. The only thing I'm going to miss is my dog, but he has better social life than me. My friends text me and go, "Oh, by the way, we went by and took Jacques for a walk." So, but we're going to take my boat to the Keys at the end of January.
Yep.
Yeah. You're still going to do that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you down there.
We'll get you down there. Gary will call Sam and get the slip arranged. So that'll take care of as well.
Yep. So I'll be moving on down to the Keys at the end of January. It is time for me to shit or get off the dock, really. And I can make all the excuses that I haven't finished the work and I haven't done all of this, but honestly, she's ready to go. She's just not very pretty to look at yet. So.
Well, we spent a lot of time. We lived on the New River, right below where you're at there in the Wiggles, for 15 years with this boat. We traveled here and there and up north and south. But yes, I know the projects get daunting and endless, and it feels like months go by and the boat never leaves the dock, and it's like we need to go and do something because I'm not here to work on this boat for the rest of my life.
You get stuck to the dock.
That's how I feel. Like I am never going to get off the dock if I don't just go. And where I'm docked right now is so ridiculously hard to get out. So I am actually the named operator on the policy, but I don't feel comfortable running that river without a captain. So it's I'll be so happy when I get out of there, because I'm perfectly fine on the ICW and in the open water and stuff like that. But that river, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't have the house up there anymore, because it was tough. Because the boat got hit 3 or 4 different times. The Jungle Queen hit us once.
Yeah.
And this barge company hit me once. And then Bernie Little hit us once.
Yep.
It was always something.
I would not want to dock my boat there.
Well, because, yeah, it's right as the current was coming. And so if they got any little out of control, they were headed right for us.
If they slowed up too slow,
I'm well aware of that.
brought 'em in.
Not that your boat was there, but I've had a couple of close
my
calls
God,
in those
now
wiggles
the
myself.
The person
So.
who has the house now, they rented out to somebody who's got a 100-foot boat that's way wider than this.
Is it-
I cannot believe they let them do that.
Is that and the guy lives on it? Not YOLO, but the Navy. Oh, I know the one. I think I know what you're talking about. It's really nice, like newer, much newer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. I can't think of what it is now. So, come on, guys, we need some questions. Or maybe some advice on how not to squash a lampshade.
The lamp still works.
The
And
lamp
it
still
looks
works.
good.
And they turn the squash part around so you don't see it.
I'll order another one off Wayfair. That's where I found that one. Because that is a tough, thing too.
Yeah, it's a big shade. Yeah.
Well, it's
Very cool lamp, but
yeah, I've had the lamp for a long time. That's the second shade, so
Yeah.
it'll be a third.
apparently I'm not the first lampshade squatter they've had.
Yeah, that's what happened to the first one. It got squished, and we had it
Did
protected.
somebody actually sit on it?
I don't think anyone sat on it, but it's crushed by something that flew over on it.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter how well I think we've secured everything, you still hear it crack, and it's like, what the hell was that? And last night was a big one. It was all over the place.
Is that Captain Ron in the blue shirt? I don't know who Captain Ron is.
Oh, how do you not know who Captain
Oh
Ron
my
is?
goodness.
You've got to watch that movie.
What?
With Kurt Russell. He's got really long hair.
Okay, I will watch the movie.
He teaches them how to run the boat.
Oh yeah, he picks up this family that they inherited this boat and then sail back to the States and go through
Cuba.
one disaster after another. You
Okay.
should everybody watches that.
I will have to-
It's a
I will
boaters
have to.
movie.
I will have to watch that.
You can still see that the next one they had to go out and teach. The cleat goes flying with the line.
Oh,
They didn't take the line loose off the cleat.
Jeez.
And if it's going to happen, as he says, it's going to happen out there.
Yes, and I'm a little bit Captain Ron because I did captain private boats from the time I was 20 till about 7-8 years ago. I retired from that.
But you both have your 100-ton license.
Yes,
right?
we both maintain. I still maintain both of our licenses.
Yeah, we both run some new boats out of Newbern.
Yes,
That
at
was
one time I was working for Marine Max, and then I got to do the Hatteras deliveries because I didn't do the Sea Rays. They always sent me to do the Hatteras, which was always very nice. And there was a lot of nice people up there. And as a matter of fact, the girls that decorate the boats helped me with some things here on the boat, what they put on the newer ones.
Where's the best place to find the 32-volt battery gauge for the helm? Currently, mine goes to 50 volts in the red.
I have not had to replace ours yet.
I don't get the goes to 50 volts in the red.
Oh, yeah, I know he's talking about. Yeah.
There's a
Speed
place. There's a place in Fort Lauderdale that does all those old gauges, and I can't think of the name of it.
The only place that you might, there's either the junkyard places, get parts out of, or you might try the speedometer place in tachometer. They used to overhaul tachometers years ago. Right there by Lester's, next to Lester's.
Yeah,
Next
I'll
to
find
that.
that and send it to you, Michael. I actually bought some gauges for my engine room and from them, so I'll get that for you. And try Sam's Marine.
Sam's or Ward's Marine there in Fort Lauderdale as
Yeah.
well might have that.
Sam, you mean Ward's Electric?
Yes.
Ward's Electric, yeah. Yeah, on Third Avenue or 3rd Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was mandatory training video for new guys when I was a merchant mariner. It might not be the gauge, it might be the sending unit. Oh, that's true.
Oh yeah.
Michael, he's saying to check your sending unit on your gauge and make sure that that's still good. You may not need a new gauge. Rusty also owns a 50. Is yours 53 or 58, Rusty? And he solos his. So
Well, I can see that on
53. Yeah.
53 or 58.
Yeah. He solos his. He's looking for a slightly bigger one. So, and yeah. I wish we could solo one like this, but it's too big for one person. It would be tough. I need boat buddies.
There's a thing, another talking about sending units. A lot of people have trouble with the Detroits because the alarms go off when it idles, and it shouldn't be doing it. What happens is it gets sludgy oil packed in there, and that's what happens. You can buy new ones, but years ago they recommend you could take them apart and clean them out real good and put them back on and work. But we just always replaced them. That was the thing to do. So if anybody's got that problem.
Now, I got a lot of work to do on stuff like that. I want fuel gauges first off, because that would have saved my ass.
Oh, we've had this 24 years. I still bang on ours with a hammer to get the float to move. And now I've discovered some of our floats have just sit at the bottom because they no longer float.
But if I had had fuel gauges at the helm, I wouldn't have had to send the drunk ass downstairs. And he would have looked at the right fuel gauge instead of maybe communicated a little more clearly, or I would have known which one had what in it. So I want fuel gauges. I don't ever want that to happen. I pulled a boneheaded move. I decided to transfer fuel from the cockpit or from the forward tank to the cockpit. And I was told it would run about 30, 50 gallons an hour. Well, yeah, that's when you're sitting at the dock. When you're underway, it's a hell of a lot more. We ran 400 gallons out of my forward tank into the cockpit and killed both engines on the New River. Fun times. Very fun times.
But you'll never do that again.
Oh, hell no. I will sit at the dock for hours. I did. I ran it for 2 hours to move a quarter of a tank back into the forward because you can't leave them empty. So, changing the fuel gauges is cheap. I replaced the gauges and the sending units for both tanks. It was $175. I want the link, please. Actually, I was going to look and do what Ed and Lynn did on their boat. Those worked pretty cool.
That sounds nice.
You know what? I know a place that might be able to fix the gauge for you, too. So, yeah. Yeah, they have digital ones. And they're made by Kus, K-U-S.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so then how did they set that up in the beginning?
They have a video
Okay.
somewhere in their channel, but I'll reach out to Ed and ask him to point me back in the right direction on that. Yeah, because I want those. I want one for every tank.
Yes, I hate having to guess because there's those old style gauges.
And they're never accurate. And my water one doesn't work.
No, neither of our water ones work.
So I wonder if I could use the same Kus for the water one. I mean, they're using the same. I noticed when you pulled your tank open, it's using the same gauge that's in the fuel.
When I replaced
tank.
them when we first bought the boat, they're all the exact same gauge.
Yeah.
It floats in water, it floats in diesel, the little thing.
Yeah, I don't have a way to tell if my water tank is full. So.
Yeah, I only know because like our problem this morning or last night, I didn't know if we had lost the water somehow, that the tank was empty because we don't have gauges.
Yeah, well, but it didn't make sense. I mean, we filled up before we left and we weren't using anything yesterday. I mean,
well,
I used a little.
I've had people bump the faucet and it gets left on and it drains the tank and I don't
Oh, wow.
realize it. So
Yeah.
that has happened to me before.
So what happened with the water is we were sloshing around and something got stuck in the intake, the pickup valve from the hose.
Yeah, from the
down
bottom,
the bottom of the tank, because none of the pumps would pump any water. And when we pulled the gauge on the water tank, water came out. So obviously it was full. So he took the vacuum and.
Yeah, I took the vacuum trying to suck water through the hose because it comes through a little strainer and then a check valve, and I couldn't get any water. And I go, well, that's not right. And then I took the check valve and thinking that was the problem because that's been down there for 38 years. And that was not the problem. So I just kept taking it back until we got back there and I started trying to blow on it. It's like, God, this is hard. Water should be pouring out in my face. Yeah. So we took the air compressor and blew it back through, and I could hear the air go into the tank, and then all of a sudden water comes shooting out of the hose. So it's like, oh, that's fixed. But who knows what was in there? Because I had just had that tank apart and had the gauge off and shot back everything right there where the pickup is. I don't know what. I guess us flailing around last night broke some little piece of crap loose and got stuck on there.
How hard is it on the boats when we're taking a beating like that?
Oh, the boats can handle it a lot more than we can.
Yeah.
We've been out in 12 and 15 foot seas in this thing and never have an issue.
Wow.
I mean, those front windows will start to leak again, but, and that's a Hatteras thing.
Okay, so I got to admit, I feel much better when they told me that. I showed them the video because, and I'm going to post this video next, the trip to Bimini. I think I'm finally ready to edit it. But I was asking them how big did they think the waves were, because the weather was saying that they were really small. And I'm like, it's like last night, the storm, we were looking on the weather and it never said anything about the storm that came in. And they were obviously way bigger than 1 or 2 feet. I mean, we're like the Gordon fishermen with the water coming up over the top of the boat, up over the fly bridge even. And so, yeah. And I still can't believe you said 5 to 6. He said 7 to 8. And I'm thinking, man, that's really still not all that big. And then we go through last night and yeah, that's pretty damn big. So big enough to rock my world. So do you guys use the big 8V batteries, or have you switched over to the smaller 8V golf batteries?
We are still using the big 8V batteries. This last time we had to do it, they didn't make them in the size that fit into my original battery boxes, and I had to cut the ends off because they were longer, because they no longer make those shorter ones. So I had to make a fiberglass L and put at the ends to hold them into the box. It's not exactly perfect, but I know at some point I'd probably change over to the golf cart ones.
Why? What's the pros and cons?
Well, the con is, so it was $5,000, over $5,000 to replace those 8 batteries on each, the 4 on each side. It was $5,800.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And they're wet. They're wet ones, so I have it on my phone each month to go down there and add water.
I hate that. The golf cart batteries have to do the same thing.
The original battery for the Hatteras was set up. The 32 volt, you had 4 in each bank. They were railroad batteries. They restarted the engines on the railroad, and that's where it got its start from. And then Hatteras started using them. And we had a battery manufacturer back in Belleville, Illinois, and he made those batteries and shipped them like Kansas City and Chicago. A lot of railroad batteries. And of course, he's no longer in business anymore. He's gone. But you would always buy those railroad batteries cheap. I forget what they were.
It was back then when we first had the boat. It was a couple $100 a piece.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I paid $180. About $180 a pop for my golf cart batteries, and I have to have 6. I have 16 right now, and technically I'm supposed to have 8 more. But yeah, I don't have a house bank yet. But I'm in the process of designing like a real house bank with a big inverter panel and everything.
We still have the original setup with the 232 volts on each side. And one side used to run the generators. We've replaced generators. We put new generators on about 9 years ago. We did phasers 24 kWs. We took out the original Kohler, and someone had put an Onan on in about 96, but we had worn those out. So it was just cheaper to replace them, and we did the work.
We broke them in half and
put them in the boat.
Yeah.
And I put them back together back in the generator room. But it was cheaper than me trying to find somebody to rebuild those. And the problem with the Kohler, you couldn't get the parts for that one anymore.
It was a 20 ROP.
Yeah.
With a Perkins motor, which is a tough little motor. And
something
trash.
outside.
I'm sorry, I have the ears of a dog. I hear everything.
Even my dog didn't perk up on that. And usually she would bark about something.
What are you getting all camera shy, Scout? Randy? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey.
Oh. No, I deserved it.
She's exhausted too.
Yeah,
she hates the big seas.
Yes, she laid in my. It's funny, believe it or not, this dog laid in my lap all night long last night and just shivered. And I'm like, I'm with you, girl. I'm with you.
Yep,
she
sure did.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to touch
about her ear.
Yeah, that one ear is bugging her. If you touch it, she doesn't like it.
It's the side that gets the, swimmer's ear when she's swimming. Because we got to get her medicine out for that.
Yeah. She's had a rough couple of days.
She's tired too because she got off her feeding schedule and everything else.
I think we all got off of every schedule yesterday. That was tough. So, so what else? What else were we going to talk about? Oh, I got to see a whole pod of dolphins. I kept trying to bring that where we were doing it. I think it was out of Panama City.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, in the bay of coming in back into the ICW. So yeah, 5 dolphins. And it was 30-something degrees outside. See? She's still my friend. And what did I say? Not for love or dolphins while I go out there. And then I look out and there's 5 of them. I'm like, oh.
Well, it was really cold.
It was really cold. They played for 9 minutes with the boat. That was awesome. It was really awesome. They hung out for a long time. So, all right. So I have days like yesterday and I don't want my boat anymore. And then I think about the dolphins and I think, okay, maybe it's not so bad. So
that's all boaters. It's highs and lows, and it's how you deal with them, I guess. Yesterday was low, but nothing. We didn't really have any mechanical problems.
No, your boat runs great.
That water issue, which was something that's never happened to me before, so that was something new.
And that was pretty easy to fix.
Yes, I not as nasally as this normally because I do have a little bit of a cold, and so I'm dragging on that and dragging on little sleep, and I did not want to deal with some new problem I've never had before this morning either.
And it's something too. The old Detroits get you there and get you back. Some of these new motors with all the computers and electrical problems, and I always think the salty air is going to really affect it sooner or later.
Oh, yeah. So the 53-foot 75 Hatteras was a freshwater boat with no front anchor. It has a windlass that was set up for rope. There's nothing up front but a flagpole holder. Suggestions on what to put there?
When we bought this boat, the windlass was just set up for rope as well. We added the rope Wildcat thing to it, or the chain Wildcat thing, and then I cut in the hole for the chain to go out into, so I did not have to change out the whole windlass. I was just able to upgrade it. And then it also just went one way up, and I got from Ideal the schematics. It built a box with the relays to reverse it, so I put the 2-foot pedals out there, and so it goes up and down.
Okay, now I want to. Oh, you can't see in your gearbox.
2 little starters we put in a box.
Yeah.
And the motors you can already reverse the motor anyway.
Well, they wanted a fortune for it, but the guy, he goes, I'll just send you the schematics. You sound like you could probably build one. He goes, it's just some relays and whatnot. And I did.
Nice job.
But a few years ago, we had to get a new gearbox, and I had the motor replaced at the time too, because the water had gotten down the shaft seal, and the oil was all milky. and it had ruined the gearbox. So, and
I
it
gotta
was
watch
also
that. My
original.
gearbox is on its last leg.
Yes.
The guy told me when we rebuilt it, he said if this one gets water in it again, it'll be the end of it.
Yeah, that's why
So.
I made that little cover for the little capstan out there to keep,
Hey, Michael,
I
send
see
me
it.
some pictures of that, and I'll try to help you figure that out.
Yeah, we did have that same issue. We just changed it to chain and put the anchor up there. But the anchor, no, what's the anchor in that slot or not? Or was it on the deck? I forget.
No, it was on a pulpit.
But I guess I just had it always tied to the windlass, or they had
Yeah.
it secured somehow.
A small chain. That's what it was. They had 25 feet, 30
Yeah,
feet
25
of
feet of chain, and the rest was rope. And we used it for a while, but this is nuts. We're changing this out. Or
Had a
buy whole
Danforth.
new windlass.
Had a Danforth anchor on it. We'd always bend the flukes on it all the time and constantly take it to work.
Can have
Take it, torch it up, heat it up, and then have them paint it again. Imron. I always have them Imron. And it would still rust.
I have a stainless steel Is the Danforth any good? Or
It holds well in different areas. Like in the Bahamas, it's pretty good with the sand and whatnot because we were over there in tropical storms and it held.
now I have this. So I have a stainless steel Danforth, and then I've got that's actually on the pulpit right now. Looks like I think they call it a plow.
Okay, yeah.
Is that any good?
Yes,
Better than the Danforth?
I think so. It sets easier, so most of the time.
Unless it sits upside down.
Well, that's why we bought one of those fancy ultra anchors for this, where we replaced the Danforth because I was afraid the thing was going to rust apart. And that one always seems to right itself really quick and set almost immediately.
And I didn't have to
We
paint
had
it
very
no more.
good luck with that. Yeah,
And it looks nice.
And we spent the money for the stainless, so I had to paint that old one.
Yeah, stainless seems to be the way to go on that. Because, did you see the video when we dragged the 80-pound Danforth rusted out of the cockpit when we were cleaning out the cockpit?
Oh yeah, I think I did see that.
Yeah, big, huge. CQR? What do you mean?
That's a type of anchor.
I have no idea. I still have so much to learn. But I see a galley gut in my future.
Yeah, we did that about 12 years ago. Gutted our galley back to the studs and started from scratch.
I don't know that all.
It turned out very nice.
Yeah,
very happy
you guys,
with
when
it.
you see their galley, you're gonna die. It's so beautiful. But the coolest thing about it is they moved the AC unit. Or was yours always in that corner?
Ours was always in the corner.
See, theirs is in the corner where the sink and the wall is, and mine is on the end. So it's taking up precious real estate. And I've got this lid thing in the cabinet or counter that I can pick up, and water always gets in there and it gets all mildewy. I won't even put anything in there that I'm going to use on a regular basis. So I think when I redo the counters, I'm going to pull my AC and move it to that corner, and then I'll be able to put something there, maybe the dishwasher over there, or shift the cabinets down and put the dishwasher. And that way I can have a real oven under the stove and the microwave up top like a normal galley like they do. So yeah, and then maybe I can insulate my AC so it's not so loud. So mine is really loud.
Even our new one is. So, but
This is a much bigger unit.
It's a much bigger unit than what started on.
What size is it?
I don't remember now.
32,000 or something.
Oh Jesus, mine's 24.
I mean, you
It'll
come
freeze
here-
the tits off a bull.
Yeah, this one.
It'll cool the boat down in 5 minutes.
Hey, Sean from Dog River. It's your
Oh
friend.
my God. Hey, Sean. Wow.
We did make it this far.
They haven't thrown me overboard yet. Even after sitting on their lampshade.
Boat's doing good though.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, everything's running great. Thank you so much for all your help there at Dog River.
So Dog River is in Mobile. That's
Correct.
where they were on the hard. They do a lot of the work on their boat at that marina. So
Dog River painted the boat. They did the hardtop for us, and we did that. They did the teak decks on the aft deck and the cockpit, and did that amazing combing. They have some very talented people there. So over the years, we've spent a lot of money.
Over 30-some years.
I've been going through there with
Because
boats.
you
I
had your
worked on.
Jefferson too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, well, and when I worked on boats, we would always go through there on our trips north and south and get that done because they do a great job, and it was it's less expensive than Florida yards, and they actually care about what they're doing.
Yes.
That's the most important thing.
Because if we have a problem or something, we sent a note to Rudy at Dog River about one of our packing glands was triplet shafts was leaking, and
Our friend George figured
Sean
that
and
out.
George is like,
Yeah.
we just put those in not too long ago. What in the world could be wrong with them? So they were concerned that, there was something wrong with it. Like, nobody else cares about that.
Yeah.
But they said, there's just something probably got stuck in there. That's what it's supposed to do, is leak a little bit.
It was a little
and then
dirt.
it'll
might have
wash
got
it out, and it'll stop. And it did, and so there was no issue with it. So, but
Yes.
it always concerns me because I spent money to keep that dry because I try and have as dry bilges as I can, and so that was one thing that stopped all that mud and salt from getting in the boat all the time.
Oh, we should quit banging on the table,
Oh,
jiggling the camera.
sorry about
We're
that.
not underway, I promise.
We still feel like it though.
Yes, we do. So, yeah, Sean, we had a really rough trip from Port St. Joe
Fort St. Joe to here.
to Venice. So, yeah. Maxine Johnson, she says, "Hi, Scott. Merry Christmas." That must be one of your friends.
It's my mother.
That's your mom. Hi, Mom. Yay. Nope. Can't see me. I'll wave with the other hand.
Merry Christmas, Mom.
I'm going to feed them good tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Sorry. That's right. Today is Little Christmas Eve. So I don't know if you guys, it's a Norwegian thing, and my sister is married to a Norwegian. So it's a habit I picked up, Little Christmas Eve. So yeah. Any other questions? Of course, I guess we have done our hour, but if there's any more questions, we're happy to hang out for a few more minutes. And if not, I guess we can say Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
We're really tired.
I am tired.
Yeah.
We got to get back on that horse tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes, we'll be on our way tomorrow. So.
But it's a very short run from here to Fort Myers, like 6 hours. So it should be, and the weather supposedly is going to be much nicer tomorrow. Merry Christmas, Rusty. And Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope that you guys are all having fun out on your boats and with your family and having a good time. And
yes, a foot or less tomorrow. Yay.
yeah.
So,
I like the
we'll
less.
Well, that's what it says when I looked at
yeah,
it
don't
earlier.
believe everything you.
Well, we're running close to shore.
Apparently
It doesn't
not.
matter.
Yes. Now we have 2 stink bugs up there.
Yeah.
That's so funny. You know, the one thing that nobody ever talks about with boats is how many bugs you get on a boat.
I get those little ants and we battle
I have
those.
the big ones,
We
like
just have those
giant. They're
tiny,
like this
tiny-
long.
Ooh.
They don't bite, thank God.
I'm
But
always worried about them wanting to chew the wood.
that's what I've been worried about too. But I can't find where they are. They're not like leaving a trail. I don't see any wood damage or anything like that. But yeah, I'm gonna start spraying. I want rid of them. But yeah. Thank you, Michael. And thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm sorry we didn't do a lot of advertising on this one, so didn't get as many viewers, but next time I will be better. I had no internet yesterday, and quite honestly, I was
Out to sea.
Yes, we're out to sea.
I was worshiping the porcelain god a little more than I would like to admit. I really felt bad. These guys have been super nice for this noob who doesn't really know much of anything about boats. They've been very kind and have been teaching me a lot. And I mean a lot, answer so many questions. And now I know what I want to do for my equipment after seeing their setup. So I'm super excited about that.
That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, because I've been kind of struggling with that whole idea of how to use a computer versus, a big expensive Simrad setup, that kind of thing. Yeah, so I like what they've done. So I will post a walkthrough next week when we get back in. They've had a chance to clean up because the boat's been well used the last few months, and so I want it to be perfect.
And the engine room has to be cleaned up.
Yeah, well, and they've got everything stowed for the trip in all the rooms too right now, except for mine. So, so yeah, everything just needs to be like put away and the furniture put out and the cushions out, and those rooms will be pretty again. So we'll do a walkthrough, and you guys will get to see Desperados, which is really and truly probably one of the loveliest Hatterases out there, honestly. And Gary, by the way, is like a Nazi about washing this boat. Every night, the minute we hit the dock, he is out there with a water hose spraying it down. So, and I think that's half the reason it is so beautiful, because they take really great care of this boat. So.
Yeah, you have to if you want to keep the paint job and everything up and sparkling, and your windows not to corrode up,
Yeah, I'm figuring, well, mine are already corroded up. I've got to fix that. But now I know how to stop them from doing that.
Once you spend that money or do that time to put into those windows, you don't want it to happen again. So you keep them washed.
And they're hard to pop out and repaint.
Yeah, you're going to have to show me how you did that.
That's a job.
We did every window on this boat ourselves. We did not.
One day we should do another one of the, like not a live video, but just a regular video. And like when we do the walkthrough, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tell me what you did in this room and how you did it. And I think everybody would really, really enjoy that. So.
And you'll get to hear my normal voice then.
Mine too. I can barely talk today. I have no voice right now. So. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next time, and happy, Merry Christmas and happy holidays and all that good stuff.
Bye.
Bye.